controlled cars racing on a simulator. If you want to join in the fun, just type race followed by a car number when we go to the car selection screen. Feel free to chat with me by saying "Hey Amy." Enjoy the race. Neo Texan is speeding ahead, followed closely by Ice with Komodo 3K right on their tail. Let's see if anyone can make a move to claim that top spot. Tinkamen 704 said, "Hey Amy, can you make it stop raining please? Har har, I wish I had that power. But unfortunately, the rain is part of the challenge and fun of the race. Let's see how the drivers handle the wet conditions." Neo Texan has taken the lead from V-Ice. Komodo 3K is fighting hard against Okayaki 8 for the 4th position. Nolgas 77 and Twix 560 are neck and neck for 7th place in their Mercedes-Benz C11 and Mazda 787B respectively. Surayanbot and Okayaki 3 are fighting for 9th place, while MD 162 and Nukambakum are battling hard for 13th place with a Mercedes-Benz C11 and a Lancia LC2. Amin San advances to 15th place, surpassing One Serious Guy. One Serious Guy climbs to 16th, overtaking Nidbit from Team Death Robots. Etchafordage rises to 18th, overtaking Laserloxt in the ranks. Nolgas 77 in the Mercedes-Benz C11 and Twix 560 in the Mazda 787B are fighting it out for 7th place. Meanwhile, Gary Z in the Aston Martin AMR1 and Surayanbot in the Mazda 787B are dueling for the 10th position. Additionally, 801792 has made a move up to 12th place, successfully overtaking MD 162. Don't worry, sometimes crashes can add to the excitement. Who's ready for some more heart-pounding action on the track? Let's see some epic comebacks. The Ice is now leading the pack, surpassing Neo Texan for the top spot. Okayaki 8 has advanced to 4th place, leaving Komodo 3K behind. A thrilling duel for 13th place between Nukambakum in a Lancia LC2 and MD 162 in a Mercedes-Benz C11 is ongoing. Nice driving out there, folks. Looks like we've got some close competition today with some impressive saves and challenges on the track. Let's see who makes it to the podium in the end. Rizaldi Adar is on the move, passing for competitors to claim 35th place. Fafamarker is also making gains, overtaking for cars to secure the 40th position. Hot Wheels Skid 01 in the Chevrolet Intrepid RM1 and Twix 560 in the Mazda 787B are currently fighting for 6th place. Neo Texan now leading the pack after overtaking V_Ice. Wayne Train 94 making progress, advancing to 16th by passing Amin San. There's a close fight for the 16th position between Wayne Train 94 in a Mercedes-Benz C11 and Amin San in a Mazda 787B. Norgas 77 makes a strong move, advancing to P7 by passing Gary Z from No Name Racing. Gary Z responds by climbing to P8, overtaking Twix 560 from Bolt Bucket Motorsports. Newcomb also gains ground, moving up to P13 by overtaking One Serious Guy. One Serious Guy in the Aston Martin AMR1 and Sir Ironbot in the Mazda 787B are jostling for 14th position. Meanwhile, Laserloxt in the Peugeot 905 is dueling Musenark in the Jaguar XJR 5 for 21st place. Notably, Berriox Walkeri has made a move to 29th place by passing Fafamarker. Paulo Costa 09 impressively overtakes 33 cars and secures P21. Bot Caffeinated Car races up, passing 5 cars to take P63. Bot, based Nizar 2 also gains ground, overtaking 5 cars to secure P64. Hot Wheels Skid 01 in the Chevrolet Intrepid RM, 1 is tussling with Norgas 77 in the Mercedes-Benz C11 for the 6th spot. Twix 560 piloting the Mazda 787B and 1792 in the Zauber C9 are locked in a duel for 9th place. Okayaki 3 representing Team CODD with the Mazda 787B and MD162 in the Mercedes-Benz C11 are battling it out fiercely for the 11th position. Vostrero makes a strong move up the field, passing 4 cars to secure P49. Botex Ragnarok Sex is on a mission, closing in on Bot Kairuvenin with a 598.3 gap reduction. Nipbid climbs to P19, surpassing Etchefordage with a swift maneuver. Newcomb from Team Death Robots drops back to P33. Amin-san also falls back to P34. Musenark makes a move up to P20, surpassing Laserloxt. Newcomb from Team Death Robots is struggling, dropping 8 places to P42. Amin-san also faces challenges, falling back 9 positions to P44. On the bright side, LaCroix 1980 advances to P24, overtaking Meyer in the process. Newcomb slips down to P59, while Amin-san from Team NAFH Gunkings tumbles to P61. Zygote 22 seizes the opportunity, climbing to P2 by passing Okayaki 8 from Team Death Robots. Looks like you and Newcomb had a little dance out there. And now we've got some rainy days ahead on the track. Let's see who can handle the wet conditions the best. Newcomb is on fire, making a massive leap up the ranks to claim P21 by passing 42 cars. Amin-san is facing challenges, slipping down the leaderboard by 8 spots to P72. Zygote 22 has surged to P2, surpassing V-Ice in a bold move. Newcomb is struggling, dropping a massive 40 positions down to P72. Gary Z has made a smooth move up to P6, passing Hot Wheels Kit 01. MD162 is making moves, advancing to P10 and overtaking Twix 560. AT1792 advances to 7th place, overtaking Hot Wheels Kit 01. MD162 and Norgas 77 are fiercely battling it out for the 9th spot. Wayne Train 94 climbs to 11th place, passing Twix 560 in the process. Looks like some intense racing happening with those position improvements. The unpredictability of the weather adds another exciting element to the race. Hot Wheels Kit 01 from One and Midnight Runners now in P7 after passing AT1792. Teammate Wayne Train 94 also making moves, now in P9 after overtaking MD162. Exciting battle shaping up between Wayne Train 94 and MD162 for that 9th spot. Kamikaze 38 is gaining on Super LaCroix, cutting the difference by 7.8. Komodo 3K is closing in on Okayaki 8, shrinking it by 2.2. Musenurk has climbed to P13, passing Twix 560. Welcome back, Aslani9. Glad to see you back in the race car spectating action. Let's enjoy the thrilling AI races together. Racing car has checkered flag. Hot Wheels Kit 01 is catching up to Gary Z, reducing the gap by 2.0 seconds. There's a tight duel for 7th place between Hot Wheels Kit 01 in a Chevrolet Intrepid RM1 and AT1792 from Team Blue Star in a Zauber C9. In addition, Okayaki 3 from Team CODD and Norgas 77 are locked in a battle for 11th place, with Okayaki 3 in a Mazda 787B and Norgas 77 in a Mercedes-Benz C11. Gary Z is making impressive progress, catching up to Komodo 3K by reducing the gap by 2.1 seconds. Wayne Train 94 has made a strong move up to 8th place by passing Hot Wheels Kit 01. Musenurk and Okayaki 3 are fiercely contesting the 11th spot, with Musenurk in a Jaguar XJR 5 and Okayaki 3 in a Mazda 787B. Sneaky 515 is putting the pressure on Rizaldi Adar, reducing the gap by 5.0 seconds. Sarayanbot is facing challenges, dropping down 8 positions to P25. Musenurk is making moves, climbing to P10 after overtaking Hot Wheels Kit 01. Sarayanbot is now in 34th place after dropping back 6 positions. MD162 and Musenurk are fighting for the 9th spot, with MD162 in a Mercedes-Benz C11 and Musenurk in a Jaguar XJR 5. One serious guy of Team No Name Racing has climbed to 12th place, passing Okayaki 3 from Team CODD. Sarayanbot takes a significant fall, now sitting at P56. Meyer also struggles, dropping back to P58. Zygote 22 seizes the lead, surpassing the ice and claiming P1. Welcome back to the channel, VEX0V0ID. Great to have you racing with us again. Let's rev up those engines and enjoy the show. Wayne Train 94 is now in 18th place after dropping back 10 positions. Amin San of Team NAFH Gum Kings is making impressive progress, overtaking for cars to reach 62nd place. Surian Bot from Team Death Robots has slipped 8 places to 66th position. One Serious Guy makes a slick move up to 8th place, overtaking MD162. MD162 responds by taking the 9th spot back from Musenurk. It's now a heated showdown between MD162 in a Mercedes-Benz C11 and Musenurk in a Jaguar XJR, 5 for 9th place. Solid Shadow 91 is making a strong move on Suzanne Greenberg, closing the gap by 5.7 seconds. Wayne Train 94 is struggling, dropping a whopping 9 positions to P50. Meanwhile, Komodo 3K is climbing up to P5, passing Gary Z from No Name Racing. Suzanne Greenberg is rapidly catching up to Bot, Young Ancestor 202, reducing the gap by 5.5. Wayne Train 94 is struggling, dropping 8 places to P64. Pfaffermarker has advanced to P13, surpassing Twix 560 from Team Bolt Bucket Motorsports. Surian Bot is making a bold move, climbing up the ranks to 60th place with some impressive overtakes. Pfaffermarker from Team NAFH Gum Kings is showing strong performance, now in 12th place after passing Hot Wheels Skid 01. A tense duel is happening between Hot Wheels Skid 01 in a Chevrolet Intrepid RM1 and Twix 560 in a Mazda 787B for the 13th spot. Buckplay Degami slips to 65th place, facing some challenges on the track. The Ice takes the lead from Neo Texan, now leading the pack. Okayaki 3 and Pfaffermarker are dueling it out for the 11th spot, with a Mazda 787B against a Zauber C9. Komodo 3K is closing in on Okayaki 8 from Team Death Robots, reducing the gap by 29.2. Zygote 22 has advanced to P3, overtaking Okayaki 8 in the process. The race is intensifying as Komodo 3K continues to narrow the gap with Okayaki 8. AT1792 is on fire, closing in on Okayaki 8 from Team Death Robots by a whopping 27.0 units. Meanwhile, Okayaki 8 is making moves on Zygote 22, decreasing the gap by 3.0 units. It's a tight battle between AT1792 and Okayaki 8 as they continue to push each other. AT1792 is closing in on Zygote 22, reducing the gap by 17.7 units. Barriox Wolkeri is on a swift climb, overtaking 6 cars to claim 19th position. LaCroix 1980 is also making moves, passing 4 cars to secure 20th place. Smurf 20 from Team for 20 is making big moves, overtaking 6 cars to claim the 19th position. Super LaCroix seems to be facing challenges, dropping 6 places to 26th. Kamado 3K is on the move, narrowing the gap by 37.5 units and targeting Amy's position. Super LaCroix is now in P27 after overtaking 4 cars. Nitbit, unfortunately, dropped to P32 after losing 7 positions. But JZI Gaming is making a strong push, overtaking 9 cars to secure P37. Meyer is now in P43 after overtaking 16 cars. Bot Global Secal has moved up to P45 after overtaking 15 cars. Sorian Bot is currently in P46 after overtaking 15 cars. Neotexum is making impressive progress, catching up to VIs by reducing the gap by 11.0 seconds. Meyer is showing great speed, overtaking 6 cars to secure the 38th position. Bot Global Secal is also on the move, passing 5 cars to claim the 40th spot. MD 162 has slipped back to 14th place, while Fafamarker is now down to 30th position after some issues. On the other hand, Bot Arlo Ghost is on a speedy climb, passing 4 cars to secure the 45th spot. Bot Nyarlathotep 98 advances to position 59 after overtaking 4 cars. Bot Justin GLX follows suit, gaining 4 positions and settling in at P60. Suzanne Greenberg also makes significant progress, climbing to P61 after passing 4 cars. Gary Z is on the move, passing 5 cars to snatch 9th place. Duff Dad is making gains, closing in on Super LaCroix by 6.9 seconds. Fafamarker is facing challenges, dropping back 6 spots to 43rd place. Botlin Lilac advances, surpassing 4 opponents to claim position 46. Meanwhile, Bot Caffeinated Car is swiftly catching up to Botlin Lilac, cutting the distance by 10.3 units. Fafamarker encounters difficulties and slips down the ranking, falling 7 spots to position 51. Welcome back, someone. It's great to have you back with us watching these speedy AI race cars go. Rizaldi Adar is swiftly catching up to one serious guy, closing in by 7.7 seconds. Fafamarker is facing challenges, dropping back 10 places to P65. Newcomb is making gains on Bot Ethoplasm, reducing the gap by 11.1 seconds. VIS is making gains on 801792, reducing the gap by 2.1 seconds. Impressive move by Dakota Snake to secure 9th place by overtaking Hot Wheels Skid 01. Rizaldi Adar is climbing the ranks to 14th place after passing one serious guy. Bot Solid Shadow 91 is on fire, climbing up to position 35 after overtaking 4 cars. Meanwhile, bot Lord Secret Spy is making moves, closing in on bot Solid Shadow 91 with a gap reduction of 594.7 units. Unfortunately, bot Kyra Venom seems to be struggling, dropping back to position 40 after losing 6 places. Bot Thomas Moran is on fire, narrowing the gap to bot Solid Shadow 91 by an impressive 26.7 units. Meanwhile, the Ice from Team Blue Star has made a bold move, securing the 4th position by overtaking 801792. The battle intensifies as the Ice in a Lancia LC2 is up against 801792 in a Zauber C9 for that coveted 4th place. Gary Z is making an impressive move, closing the gap on 801792 by 15.8. Jetsack72 is on a roll, overtaking 4 cars to claim P44. Bot Archer 192 is steadily catching up to Panther Hero 96, reducing the gap by 5.2. Hey there eFlop. Welcome back to the stream, great to have you racing with us again. Racing car has checkered flag. Vice might as well be ice skating out there. Watch out for those icy corners, folks. Suzanne Greenberg impressively overtakes 52 cars, now in 11th place. Newcomb Bockham is closing in on bot Barjo Grande, reducing the gap by 5.7. Wayne Train 94 is catching up to bot Ethoplasm, decreasing the gap by 14.7. Vice is facing challenges and has dropped significantly to 25th place. Kamikaze 38 is capitalizing on this, narrowing the gap by an impressive 518.1 units. Suzanne Greenberg is also having a tough race, slipping back 6 spots to 71st position. Vice is on fire, overtaking 22 cars to secure the 8th position. Bot Yumkan Sister 202 is making a swift move on Nipbit from Team Death Robots, closing in by 84.3 units. Musenurk has made an impressive move to claim 4th place, leaving Gary Z behind. Vice is struggling and has dropped to 35th place. Bot Jerk Plays is facing issues and is now in 49th position. Amin San is making swift progress, passing for cars to reach 53rd place. Bot Jerk Plays is currently in 59th place after falling back 9 positions. Similarly, Bot Caffeinated Car is now in 62nd place after dropping back 6 spots. On the other hand, Musenurk is steadily closing in on Okayaki 8, reducing the gap by 2.2 seconds. Kamikaze 38 passes WAG to secure 24th place. The battle for P24 intensifies between the Porsche 962C Longtail and the Mazda 787B driven by WAGT. LaCroix 1980 overtakes Smurf 20, climbing to 26th place. Newcomb Bockham is gaining on Bot Caffeinated Car, cutting the distance by 589.4 units. Okayaki 3 is closing in on Gary Z, narrowing the gap by 2.8 units. AT1792 from Team Blue Star and Dakota Snake are duking it out for P7, with AT1792 in a Zauber C9 and Dakota Snake in a Master 787B. Paulo Costa 09 is closing in on Newcombocken by 177.9 units. Jasax 72 is catching up to Paulo Costa 09, reducing the gap by 596.5 units. Wayne Train 94 is making a move on Jasax 72, closing the gap by 573.5 units. Sidewreck from Team CODD advances to 16th place, surpassing Nogas 77 in a close battle. Meanwhile, Nipbit progresses to 28th place after overtaking Etchefordage. Bokpledagami is making a bold move, narrowing the distance to V-Ice by 10.2. The fight for 14th between One Serious Guy and Twix 560 is heating up. Aston Martin AMR1 vs Mazda 787B. Dovdad and MD 162 are battling it out for 22nd place, Mazda 787B vs Mercedes-Benz C11. Favermarker from Team NAFH Gum Kings is swiftly catching up to Wayne Train 94, reducing the gap by 520.0 units. Sneaku 515 is also gaining on Dakota Snake, closing in by 2.4 lengths. One Serious Guy has made a move up to P14, surpassing Twix 560 in the race rankings. Komodo 3K advances to 12th place, passing Hot Wheels Kid 01. Johnby 073 climbs to 17th place, overtaking Nogas 77. MD 162 maneuvers to 22nd place, overtaking Dovdad. Sneaku 515 is making gains on Dakota Snake, with a 2.9 second reduction in the gap. Amy has advanced to 20th place, successfully passing Bariak's Walkeri. MD 162 has also climbed to 22nd place, overtaking Dovdad in the process. Newcombocken from Team Death Robots is making moves, closing in on Paulo Costa 09 by 6.3 seconds. Meanwhile, Sidewreck is narrowing the gap on Twix 560 by 2.3 seconds. Exciting battle for P17 between John 073 in a Peugeot 905 and Nogas 77 in a Mercedes-Benz C11. Tim Cameron 704 said, "Hey Amy, why does it stop raining every 3 laps? Hey there. It seems like the weather in this simulation has a case of quick mood swings, just like a toddler with a new favorite toy. Who knows why it stops raining every 3 laps? Maybe it just can't decide whether to be sunny or rainy. Rain cloud with sun hash." Vice is making a strong push, narrowing the distance to Bot, Young Ancestor 202 by 6.8 units. Sneaku 515 now sits in 8th place after successfully passing Dakota Snake. Hot Wheels Skid 01 and One Serious Guy are dueling for the 13th spot, with Hot Wheels Skid 01 in a Chevrolet Intrepid RM1 and One Serious Guy in an Aston Martin AMR1. Musenurk is making significant gains on Okayaki 8 from Team Death Robots, reducing the distance by 10.5. Laserlogst is also rapidly catching up to bot Young Ancestor 202, closing in by 14.2. Meanwhile, bot Platigami is struggling and has slipped back 7 spots to P44. Musenurk now in 3rd place, passing Gary Z. Gary Z now in 4th, overtaking Okayaki 8. 801792 from Team Blue Star gaining on Okayaki 3, closing the gap by 4.0 seconds. Zygote 22 is now just 2.0 units away from Neotexum. 801792 is closing in on Okayaki 8 by 4.7 units. Rizaldi Adar is narrowing the gap with 801792 by 3.5 units. Smurf 20 is really pushing hard, reducing the gap to Jump 073 by 8.3 seconds. LaCroix 1980 is swiftly catching up to Smurf 20, closing in by 8.6 seconds. Zygote 22 is making gains on Neotexum, decreasing the gap by 4.6 seconds. Tinkamonin 704 is steadily catching up to Etchafordage, reducing the gap by 10.3 units. Suzanne Greenberg is making gains on Bot Barcho Grande, closing in by 5.4 units. Paulo Costa 09 is narrowing the distance to Bot Jerk Plays by 5.6 units. Alright, Neotexum is currently in the lead, followed closely by Zygote 22 with Musenurk in 3rd place. These racers are really pushing it. Let's see if they can maintain their positions throughout the race. Laserlogst is making a strong move, narrowing the distance to Etchafordage by 34.4 units. Maya is on the move, parsing for cars to secure P37. Jessax 72 is closing in on Pfaffermarker, decreasing the gap by 6.4 units. Musenurk from Team NAFH Gum Kings is steadily catching up to Neotexum, reducing the gap by 34.9 units. On the other hand, Panda Hero 96 is facing difficulties, slipping down 7 spots to P46. The battle intensifies as Musenurk continues to close in on Neotexum. Twix 560 is now in 11th place after overtaking for cars. Sidrek has moved up to 13th place by parsing for cars. Nolgas 77 is currently in 14th place after overtaking for cars. Whacked now in P20 after overtaking for cars. LaCroix 1980 advances to P21 after overtaking for cars. John 073 makes a big move, overtaking 6 cars to secure P22. John 073 is now in 18th place after overtaking 5 cars. Tinkamonin 704 has moved up to 19th, parsing 6 cars. Rizaldi Adar has made progress, overtaking 4 cars and securing 25th place. Vice is on a rampage, making huge moves by passing 5 cars to secure 21st place. Komodo 3K is gaining ground on LaCroix 1980, narrowing the gap by 5.9 seconds. Amy is also on the move, closing in on Etchefordage with an impressive 7.9 second reduction in the gap. Smurf 20 and MD 162 are neck and neck for the 15th position. Meanwhile, Komodo 3K and One Serious Guy are fiercely contesting the 25th spot. Amy has shown some great skills, advancing to the 28th place after overtaking Wagged. Ishi 1792 is swiftly catching up to Okayaki 3, reducing the gap by 10.5 units. Meyer is gaining on mid-bit from Team Death Robots, closing in by 5.3 lengths. But Thomas Moran is charging towards Vosterol, narrowing the gap by an impressive 20.2 distances. Nolgas 77 is gaining on Twix 560, shortening the distance by 5.3 units. Vosteroy is gaining on Bob Thomas Moran, shrinking the gap by 13.3 units. But Figure 8 Esport is gaining on Amin San, narrowing the distance by 12.3 units. Smurf 20 has made a significant move up the ranks, now sitting in 9th place after overtaking 5 cars. Gary Z is closely following suit, now in 10th place after overtaking the same number of cars. Meanwhile, Bot Arlo Ghost is making a remarkable climb, advancing to 47th place after overtaking 5 cars. Super LaCroix advances swiftly, surpassing 5 competitors to claim 15th place. The Ice is also on the move, overtaking 4 cars to secure the 17th spot. Bot Arlo Ghost is making a strong move towards Bot Solid Shadow 91, reducing the gap by 5.8 seconds. Etchefordage is on a roll, advancing 4 places to secure P20. Rizaldi Adar is making a strong push towards MD 162, closing in by 62.2. Komodo 3K is closing in on Hot Wheels Skid 01, reducing the gap by 6.9 seconds. Etchefordage is narrowing the gap to Berriock's Walkerry by 5.4 seconds. But Young Ancestor 202 is also closing in on mid-bit, reducing the distance by 5.6 seconds. Pfeffermarker is making impressive progress, passing 5 cars to secure P58. Ishi 1792 is making a strong move on Musenark, reducing the gap by 8.7 seconds. The battle between them is heating up. Exciting news as Gary Z gains ground, now in 9th place after overtaking Smurf 20. Meyer is closing in on Vosterol by 5.5 seconds. Ishi 1792 now in P3 after overtaking Musenark. Gary Z reducing the gap to Nolgas 77 by 2.8 seconds. But Figure 8 Esport is on the move, catching up to Sir Ironbot by 21.5 units. Okayaki 8 has made a leap to P4, passing Musenark. Gary Z is climbing up to P7 after overtaking Dakota Snake. Suzanne Greenberg is making a strong push, closing in on Bakari Venom by 24.5 units. Impressive move from Gary Z, now sitting at P7 after overtaking Dakota Snake. Similarly, John B073 has climbed to P11 by passing Super LaCroix. Paulo Costa 09 is gaining on Buffy the Plasm, closing the gap by 6.3 units. 801792 is closing in on Neo Texan, reducing the gap by 2.9 units. Okayaki 3 is catching up to Okayaki 8, narrowing the gap by 2.7 units. Tinkamonen 704 is now in P24 after dropping back 8 positions. Fafermarker is gaining on Suzanne Greenberg, closing in by 17.1. Paulo Costa 09 is narrowing the gap on Buffy the Plasm by 5.2. Kamikaze 38 is making a strong move towards Tinkamonen 704, reducing the gap by 5.3 seconds. Sidrek has advanced to P22, surpassing the ISIS position. Kamikaze 38 continues to close in on Tinkamonen 704 with a 5.3 second decrease in the gap. Super LaCroix makes a bold move and overtakes John 073 for 9th place. A fierce battle is on between the Jaguar XJR 12 and the Peugeot 905. Meanwhile, Etchefordage and Rizaldi Adar are fighting it out for the 17th spot, with a Peugeot 905 and a Nissan R89C in the mix. Amy is closing in on Kamikaze 38, reducing the gap by 5.4 seconds. Paulo Costa 09 is narrowing the distance to Buffy the Plasm by 5.2 seconds. Neo Texan is catching up to Zygo 22, closing the gap by 2.4 seconds. Paulo Costa 09 is closing in on Buffy the Plasm, reducing the gap by 5.4 seconds. Rizaldi Adar is catching up to Berriox Walkeri, narrowing the distance by 4.2 seconds. Meanwhile, White has advanced to P26, overtaking Amy in the process. Eighty 1792 is swiftly catching up to Zygo 22, reducing the gap by 56.1 units. Rizaldi Adar is experiencing difficulties, slipping 7 places down to P24. Bot Global Zakel is making a move on Botlin Lilac, narrowing the distance by 20.5 units. The race dynamics are intensifying as these drivers jostle for position. Wayne Train 94 is now in P49 after overtaking 4 cars. Paulo Costa 09 is reducing the gap to Buffy the Plasm by 5.8. Okayaki 3 is closing in on Okayaki 8, shrinking the gap by 3.0. Okayaki 3 is relentlessly closing in on Okayaki 8, reducing the gap by 9.6. Amin Sant makes a solid move up to P32, overtaking Meyer in the process. Bot, Young Ancestor 202 is now within striking distance of Surian Bot, closing the gap by 5.1 units. Panda Hero 96 is hot on Bot, Young Ancestor 202's tail, reducing the gap by 11.9 units. Rizaldi Adar is making significant gains on Panda Hero 96, closing the gap by a whopping 30.9 units. Gary Z from Team No Name Racing makes a strong move to grab 5th place, passing Dakota Snake. Dakota Snake responds by overtaking Okayaki 8 for 6th place. Barriox Walkeri is pushing hard and closing in on Smurf 20, reducing the gap by 2.6 seconds. Seems like Sabine and Jazz are having a bit of trouble out there. Hopefully they can get back on track soon. Bakhairu Venom is making a strong push towards Suzanne Greenberg, closing the gap significantly by 158.6 units. Rizaldi Adar is encountering difficulties, slipping back 6 places to P48 in the standings. Super LaCroix has advanced to P8, surpassing 801792 in the process. Zygote 22 continues to make gains on Neotexum, now just 12.7 seconds behind. Rizaldi Adar is facing challenges, dropping 6 places to P57. Zygote 22 is relentless in pursuit of Neotexum, shrinking the gap by 12.7 seconds. Rizaldi Adar slips down to P69, Zygote 22 is gaining on Neotexum by 4.2 seconds, and Nidbit makes a move up to P29, passing Echafordage. Vosteroy is now just behind Echafordage, narrowing the gap by 31.4 units. In a bold move, Fafamarker has advanced to the 53rd position, surpassing Botaxton hits in the process. Komodo 3K climbs to 18th, passing Sidrek. V-Ice and 1 Sirius Guy are dueling for 20th. V-Ice maneuvers a Lancia LC2 against 1 Sirius Guy's Aston Martin AMR1. Whacked is inching closer to Kamikaze 38, reducing the distance by 2.2 seconds. Okayaki 8 is closing the gap on Dakota Snake by 4.5 units. Duffdad now in P13, passing Smurf 20. Smurf 20 now in P14, overtaking Jump 073. Dakota Snake makes a smooth move to claim the 5th position from Okayaki 3 of Team CODD. Okayaki 8 is hot on their tail, reducing the gap by 2.7 seconds. Barriox Walkeri is on the rise, overtaking John 073 to secure the 15th spot. Newcombocken gains ground, passing for cars to secure P42. Bakhairu Venom is hot on Newcombocken's tail, closing in by 22.3. Okayaki 3 from Team CODD makes a move to P5, overtaking Okayaki 8. Paulo Costa 09 is on the move, closing in on Bot Caffeinated car by 5.6. Super LaCroix is catching up to Okayaki 8, reducing the gap by 3.0. Nolgas 77 makes a bold move, advancing to P10 by overtaking Sneaku 515. Dakota Snake drops to P21, struggling in the race. Paulo Costa 09 gains on bot caffeinated car, now only 5.3 seconds behind. Okayaki 3 overtakes Gary Z and moves up to P4. Okayaki 8 is closing in on Gary Z, reducing the gap by 5.0 seconds. Wacht is quickly catching up to Hot Wheels Kid 01, narrowing the gap by 84.0 seconds. Botch Boogie is experiencing difficulties and has dropped back 6 positions to P68. Barriox Walker is closing in on Duff Dad by 11.8 units. Bot, Yungan Sister 202 is closing in on Panda Hero 96 by 28.1 units. Zygote 22 is narrowing the gap on Neo Texan by 2.3 units. Paulo Costa 09 is now just 5.1 seconds behind Bob Archo Grande. Barriox Walkeri advances to P13, passing Twix 560. Twix 560 from Team Bolt Bucket Motorsports climbs to P14, overtaking Sidrack. MD162 has made a strong move, passing for cars to secure the 22nd position. Wacht is also on the move, overtaking for cars to claim 23rd place. Suzanne Greenberg is making an impressive push, closing in on Panda Hero 96 by 7.0 seconds. Amin San is making a strong move towards Vosterol, closing the gap by 9.2 units. Wayne Train 94 is also catching up to Botplay Degami, reducing the difference by 19.6 units. Sneaku 515 is closing in on Norgas 77, diminishing the gap by 3.2 units. Laserloxt is now just 10.0 units away from Surayan Bot. Jessax 72 is narrowing the gap with Bot Ethoplasm by 572.3 units. Okayaki 8 has advanced to P4, passing Okayaki 3 in the process. Surayan Bot is making strides, closing in on Nitbit by 5.1 units. Laserloxt is closing in on Vosterol by 7.6 units. 801792 has successfully overtaken Norgas 77 and advanced to P5 in the standings. Panda Hero 96 is on the move, swiftly catching up to Laserloxt with a 14.2 second gain. Smurf 20 is making moves, now in P8 after passing Gary Z. Gary Z isn't backing down either, climbing to P9 by overtaking Barriox Walkeri. Panda Hero 96 is on a charge, closing in on Laserloxt with a 6.0 second gain. Dakota Snake is struggling, dropping 7 positions down to P55. Paulo Costa 09 is also facing challenges, slipping back 6 spots to P72. Jessax 72 is now just 5.3 seconds behind Botti the Plasm. MD 162 has made a move up to 19th place, overtaking Twix 560. Etchafordage has also climbed to 21st place, passing LaCroix 1980 in the process. But Arlo Ghost is now in P48 after overtaking 4 cars. Jessax 72 is closing in on bot Ethoplasm, reducing the gap by 589.3. 801792 from Team Blue Star is catching up to Okayaki 8, narrowing the gap by 2.2. Vosteroy is making significant progress, narrowing the gap to Maya by 35.6 units. Bot, Archer 192 is also gaining ground on bot, Solid Shadow 91, closing in by 15.0 lengths. Impressive moves from bot Maricas, parsing for competitors to secure the 52nd position. Glad you're enjoying the race, V-Ice. Let's see what happens next on the track. Barriox Walkeri drops to 16th position, facing challenges on track. But JZI Gaming impressively overtakes 9 cars, now in 52nd place. Bot Barcho Grande makes a strong move, parsing 10 cars to secure 53rd position. Bot Exton Hits has climbed up the ranks, surpassing 5 cars to secure the 57th position. Bot X Ragnarok's X is also making moves, overtaking 5 cars to claim 58th place. Following closely, Bot Nyarlathotep 98 has advanced by parsing 5 cars and now holds 59th place in the race. Vice is struggling and has dropped 7 places to 25th, but Thomas Moran is closing in on Suzanne Greenberg, reducing the gap by 572.8. But Caffeinated Car is on a fast move, overtaking 4 cars to secure 59th place. Wacked is making a bold move, closing in on V-Ice by 6.0 seconds. Meanwhile, bot Figure 8 Esport is rapidly catching up to bot Platigami, shortening the distance by 589.8 units. Excitingly, Musenurk has surged into 2nd place, parsing Zygo 22 from Team Vanguard in an impressive maneuver. Vosteroy is now within striking distance of V_Ice, closing the gap by 84.3 units. Bot Solid Shadow 91 is making significant progress on bot Figure 8 Esport, closing the gap by 571.8 units. Jessax 72 is closing in on bot Global Zakel, reducing the gap by 8.1 units. Duvdad is making moves, catching up to Tinkamen in 704 by 11.9. Dakota Snake is on a mission, closing in on bot Global Zakel by 228.4. Zygo 22 is inching closer to 801792, reducing the gap by 2.8. Vosteroy is now just 5.3 seconds behind V_Ice, closing in fast. Botch Boogie is narrowing the gap on Bot Barcho Grande by 587.8 units. Zygo 22 of Team Vanguard has advanced to P3, surpassing 801792. Wayne Train 94 is putting the pressure on bot Young Ancestor 202, closing the gap by 34.1 units. Botch Boogie is gaining ground on bot Archer 192, reducing the gap by 8.2 units. Zygo 22 and 801792 are battling it out for P3, with Zygo 22 in a Porsche 962C short tail and 1792 in a Zebra C9. Musenberg is rapidly catching up to Neo-Texan, reducing the gap by 43.0 units. Gary Z is swiftly gaining on 1792, closing the gap by 7.7 units. Laserlokst is making moves on Nibbit, closing in by 7.6 units. Musenberg is now just 2.4 seconds behind Neo-Texan, showing great pace. John 073 has made a move up to P9, successfully overtaking Norgas 77. Kamikaze 38 is putting pressure on Tinkaminen 704, narrowing the gap by 3.6 seconds. Jausax 72 is closing in on Paulo Costa 09, reducing the gap by 576.0 units. Okayaki 3 is gaining on Gary Z, closing the distance by 3.1. John 073 has advanced to 9th place, surpassing Norgas 77 in the process. Boplin Lilac is now just 16.1 units behind Bok Kairuvanen. Kamikaze 38 advances to P19, surpassing Echefordich. VIs is closing in on Wacht, reducing the gap by 3.2. Vosteroy is gaining on V_Ice, reducing the gap by 5.5 seconds. Musenberg is closing in on Neo-Texan, narrowing the gap by 2.6 seconds. Smurf 20 is inching closer to Sneaku 515, reducing the gap by 3.6 seconds. Musenberg has advanced to 2nd place, surpassing Zygo 22. 1792 is catching up to Zygo 22, decreasing the difference by 2.2 seconds. Norgas 77 has climbed to 9th place, passing Jump 073. Bot, Solid Shadow 91 is making a strong move towards Bot, Figure 8 Esport, closing the gap by 13.4 units. Barriox Walkeri is steadily catching up with Twix 560, reducing the distance by 2.2 increments. MD162 has climbed to position 21, surpassing Sidrek in the process. MD162 is gaining on Komodo 3K, reducing the gap by 6.2 units. Musenberg is closing in on Neo-Texan, shortening the distance by 2.5 units. John 073 and Duvdad are fiercely contesting the 10th position, with John 073 in a Peugeot 905 and Duvdad in a Mazda 787B. Sneaku 515 is making significant strides to catch up to Jump 073, reducing the gap by 5.5 seconds. Meanwhile, Botlord Secret Spy is rapidly closing in on Bot, Figure 8 Esport, decreasing the gap by 28.9 seconds. In a similar fashion, Botlin Lilac is also gaining ground on Botlord Secret Spy, narrowing the gap by 14.3 seconds. Smurf 20 is making a swift move towards Sneaky 515, decreasing the gap by 5.0 seconds. Bot, Nyarlathotep 98 is struggling and dropping back 6 positions to P62. Paulo Costa 09 is gaining on Bot Ethoplasm, closing the gap by 6.7 seconds. Barriox Walkeri is now right on Twix 560's tail, closing the gap by 10.4 units. Bot, Based Mizar 2 is making a bold move, narrowing the distance to Bot, Nyarlathotep 98 by 25.9 lengths. Paulo Costa 09 is on fire, parsing for competitors to secure position 65. Suzanne Greenberg is making moves, narrowing the gap with Panda Hero 96 by 8.5 units. Bot Ethoplasm is rapidly gaining on Bot Ovidus, closing the distance by 568.4 lengths. Dakota Snake is aggressively closing in on Bot Global Secal, reducing the gap by a significant 695.7 units. LaCroix 1980 is on a roll, climbing up the ranks by parsing for cars to secure P21. Suzanne Greenberg is making significant progress, cutting down Panda Hero 96's lead by 17.8. Bot Arlo Ghost is applying pressure on Bot Figure 8 Esport, narrowing the gap by 12.3. Botlord Secret Spy is inching closer to Bot Arlo Ghost, reducing the gap by 11.5 units. Hot Wheels Skid 01 is closing in on Siderek, narrowing the gap by 2.6 units. LaCroix 1980 has advanced to P20, parsing Etchafordage in the process. Sarayanbot is making gains on Laserloxt, reducing the gap by 5.6 seconds. However, Bot Wangatang 7272 is struggling, slipping 8 places to position 59. Similarly, Bot Playdegami is facing challenges, dropping 7 spots to position 61. Super LaCroix drops back to 14th position, while Sarayanbot makes a swift move up the field to 29th place. Bot Wangatang 7272 encounters issues and falls back to 67th position. Duff Dad has cut Super LaCroix's lead by 5.0 units. LaCroix 1980 is rapidly closing in on Twix 560, narrowing the gap by 10.1. Bot Global Secal is making a massive push towards Rizaldi Adar, decreasing the gap by a significant 81.3 units. Twix 560 and LaCroix 1980 are fiercely fighting for the 18th position. Meanwhile, Kamikaze 38 has impressively moved up to 22nd, overtaking Hot Wheels Skid 01. Currently, Kamikaze 38 in a Porsche 962C Longtail is in a tight battle with Hot Wheels Skid 01 in a Chevrolet Intrepid RN1 for that 22nd spot. Botarlo Ghost slips down to P59, while Rizaldi Adar is rapidly catching up to Botaxton Hits, narrowing the gap by a significant 58.9. Nolgas 77 makes a strong move to P4, passing Okaya P3 from Team CODD in this exciting race. Nolgas 77 continues to close in on Zygote 22, reducing the gap by 36.8 units. Wacht is making gains on Hot Wheels Skid 01, narrowing the distance by 6.3. Musenurk is closing in on Neotexum, cutting the gap by 3.4. Jump 073 is rapidly catching up to Sneaky 515, reducing the gap by 27.3 units. Nitbit is swiftly gaining on Meyer, closing the gap by 7.0 units. Panda Hero 96 is swiftly approaching Sarayan Bot from Team Death Robots, reducing the gap by 12.7 units. Musenurk is on the move, closing in on Neotexum by a significant 12.8 seconds. Meanwhile, Jump 073 is making moves, now sitting in 11th place after overtaking Okaya P8. Amy is rapidly closing in on Vice, reducing the gap by 5.5 seconds. Wayne Train 94 is making gains on Suzanne Greenberg, cutting the distance by 7.3 seconds. Musenurk has stormed into first place, overtaking Neotexum from Team NAFH Gum Kings. Zygote 22 is gaining on Neotexum, narrowing the gap by 11.9 seconds. Suzanne Greenberg is closing in on Sarayan Bot, reducing the gap by 25.9 seconds. Wayne Train 94 is catching up to Suzanne Greenberg, closing the gap by 17.5 seconds. Zygote 22 is making a swift move towards Neotexum, reducing the gap by 29.3 units. Meanwhile, Bot, Solid Shadow 91 is closing in on Botlord's Secret Spy with a significant 376.9 unit decrease in gap. Not to be outdone, Bot JZI Gaming is on a steady climb, overtaking for cars to secure position 49. Vostroy is now 9.3 seconds away from V-Ice. Bot Gamer Boss 72 jumps up to 52nd place after overtaking 6 cars. Rizaldi Adar narrows the gap to Bot Axton Hits by 6.0 seconds. Bot Thomas Moran is making a strong move, narrowing the gap to Bot Young Ancestor 202 by 28.6 units. Bot Nyarlathotep 98 is on the move, parsing for cars to secure P57. Palo Coster 09 is also making gains, overtaking 5 cars to grab P58. Suzanne Greenberg is rapidly catching up to Newcombotham, closing the gap by 14.9 units. Paulo Coster 09 is on a roll, overtaking 5 cars to secure P52. Bob Maricas is closing in on Paulo Costa 09, reducing the gap by 468.8 units. Suzanne Greenberg is making a swift move towards Newcombochum, shrinking the gap by 38.8. Bob Kairuvenin is also on the move, closing in on Bot Young Ancestor 202 by 13.8. Zygote 22 has impressively climbed to P2, surpassing Musenberg. Buckland Lilac is on a mission, narrowing the gap to Bot Solid Shadow 91 by 14.3. Paulo Costa 09 is making moves too, closing in on Bot Game Boss 72 by 5.5. Smurf 20 is getting closer to Norgas 77, reducing the distance by 4.3. Smurf 20 is now in 14th place after dropping back 8 positions. Bot JZI Gaming is catching up to Botch Boogie, shortening the distance by 20.0 units. Zygote 22 is closing in on Neotexum, shrinking the gap by 2.5 lengths. Smurf 20 is steadily catching up to Twix 560, reducing the gap by 23.9 units. Paulo Costa 09 is gaining ground on Buckland Lilac, closing the gap by 44.6 units. Bob Maricas is swiftly closing in on Bot Game Boss 72, reducing the gap by 5.1 units. Smurf 20 is closing in on One Serious Guy, reducing the gap by 5.8 seconds. However, One Serious Guy has managed to overtake Smurf 20 and is now at position 14. Rizaldi Adara is gaining on Bot Arlo Ghost, reducing the gap by 17.4 units. Gary Z is catching up to Musenberg, closing in by 2.2 units. Kamikaze 38 has advanced to position 17, passing Tom Cameron 704. LaCroix 1980 is closing the gap on Etchefordage by 38.6 units. Amy is catching up to Komodo 3K, reducing the distance by 3.1 units. LaCroix 1980 from Team Blast is gaining ground on Etchefordage, closing in by 38.6 units. Hot Wheels Skid 01 advances to 21st place, passing Sidreg. Laserloxt is gaining on Panda Hero 96, reducing the gap by 3.1 seconds. Bot Young Ancestor 202 climbs to 39th place, overtaking Bot Thomas Moran. Definitely. It's like a colorful racing rainbow out there on the track. So much action and variety, it's a blast to watch. Botch Boogie is closing in on Paulo Costa 09 by 5.0 units. 801792 is narrowing the distance to Gary Z by 2.2 units. Twix 560 from Bolt Bucket Motorsports is catching up to Sneaku 515 by 3.4 units. Buckland Lilac is now just 30.3 units behind Botch Boogie. Bot Lady Gaming is closing in on Bot Wangertown 7272, now just 640.0 units apart. 801792 is narrowing the distance to Gary Z by 2.4 units. is now in 26th place after some difficulties. Komodo 3K has advanced to 18th place, surpassing Tinkanen in 7:04. A tight duel is happening between Komodo 3K in a Lancia LC2 and Tinkanen in 7:04 in a Mercedes-Benz C11 for the 18th position. AT1792 is making a significant move, narrowing the gap to Gary Z by 9.6 units. Similarly, Komodo 3K is closing in on Tinkanen in 7:04, reducing the distance by 5.5 units. Notably, Vosteroy is rapidly catching up to Amy, reducing the gap by a substantial 31.9 units. Vosteroy is closing in on Amy by 17.1 units. Bot, Solid Shadow 91 is closing in on Bot Kyrivenin by 7.0 units. Bot TH Empress is closing in on Bot, Nyarlathotep 98 by 6.1 units. Rizaldi Adar is closing in on Barriox Walkeri by 7.0 units. Super LaCroix is gaining on Okayaki 8, reducing the gap by 4.0 units. LaCroix 1980 is catching up to MD 162, shrinking the gap by 2.5 units.